man, what another awesome night with the Penguins. It is, goodness, gotta look at my watch here. It's 12 o'clock, Wednesday now, June 22nd, 2016. Wow, just an awesome night. We had four brothers total, and just a great night just to soak in God's presence. And as one of the brothers came in late, and just you could tell he'd just come in from work, got in late, came in straight from work, and you could see the burden on his heart just from life and just the stress of work and just getting bogged down. And he was just kind of sharing some of that and just how easy it is to get sucked back into life, into the struggle of just kind of being human. And he was just expressing just how easy it is to get sucked back into and forget the presence of God in your own life. And so as we were just praying for him, it was interesting. I saw it was almost like he was peeking into like a cave, and it was this dark cave. And I was trying to ask the Lord, just what is this? And all of a sudden I saw this hole in his chest, and it was like right where his heart would be. And it was like this cave turned into this hole, and it went all the way through. It was dark, and it was just consuming everything in around him. It was sucking life out of things. And so I'm praying and asking the Lord, what is this? And all of a sudden, it was like kind of from behind him, like almost from behind, this gush of water just comes out. And it's just like this stream just explodes out. And it's like this fire hose now is just spraying out of him. And it's the river of God. It's God's life and his spirit just suddenly reversing that and flowing out of him. And so I'm like, awesome, that's just perfect. So I just prayed that over him, and just as I'm praying, you could feel the difference. And I was explaining the hole and everything that was there, and then the reverse of that. And it's like you could see almost like these angels just slamming this water up there, and he could feel that push forward, and just saying that that God is moving him into new territory. And so as we're praying over him and watching, all of a sudden he starts to like put his hands up almost to cover the spray, because it's too much, it's too intense, it's just going everywhere. And I heard the Lord say, don't cover it, don't try to deflect and to shield and to lessen in any way. And as we're praying for him, he just kind of put his hands down on the side. It's just like this is just gushing out all over the place. And as we were praying over him, just talking with him, he said, he's like, man, I feel sometimes like I've got to almost kind of cover it, and like I can deflect it or kind of make God kind of cool a little bit and kind of control it. And the reality is, man, we can't control God, but we don't want to control God, because what was happening in that vision is that, literally God's presence was just spraying over everything, and it looked messy. Because water was soaking everything. Like as he turned to look at somebody, it'd be like bang, they just get blown down by this fire hose of God's presence. And in our flesh and our natural mind, it's like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's too much. And what God is saying is, no, just let the river flow. Let my river flow out of you. And wow, it was such an amazing thing. And I think we meet every week, and we've been involved in this, and we're in the river all the time. But I'm telling you, it is so easy to get out of the river, and when you're out of the river and when you're out of God's presence, and you start to let just the crap just start flowing back into your life, and the burdens of the world get a hold of you again, it's almost like you don't want to go back to the river. It's like you're almost afraid to. And I want to encourage you guys that come back to the river of God. His love is so amazing, and he wants to restore you. And just like what we saw with our brother tonight, that what sin does and what the enemy does is form this gaping hole, and it just devours everything. But what God does is come from behind meaning you don't have to work for it. You don't work for it because it's already been accomplished through Christ, through his death and resurrection. He's already accomplished it. All the wrath stopped at the cross. That's the beautiful thing. No more wrath for you, right? So that means you just accept the love of the Father and let him flow through you. And he begins to flesh out your heart and all the junk that's in there. He begins to heal and flush that out with his river and his life. You don't clean it up to come to him. You come to him so that he can flush out your heart with his life and his river. So come back to the Father. He loves you. You are so greatly loved. I'm telling you, no matter where you are right now, you are so greatly loved by him. Oh, and I can't wait for you to experience it. Man, awesome night again with the Penguins. I can't get enough of it. And I'm just so thankful for my new brothers that have been joining us lately. Man, I love those guys. They're awesome. Awesome. Well, love you guys. Can't wait to share with you the next week and what God is going to do again. And start to share your stories of God's faithfulness and his love for you and what he's doing for you. I want to hear about those things because that's how we grow in a community together. You're not alone. You're not isolated. You haven't gone too far. There is no height nor depth, as Paul says, that can separate us from the love of God. That's the truth. You haven't gone too far. Come back into the river. Just jump in. Don't even dip a toe in. Just belly flop that sucker. Come right in. It's awesome. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome week. We'll talk next week.